In the 1930s, James P. Bailey worked as a petroleum geologist for Standard Oil of California. During his overseas career, his work took him to remote areas of Africa, South America, and Indonesia, the former Dutch East Indies. He explored the remote jungles of central Sumatra and Borneo for 8 years, looking for formations that indicated oil. He usually was the only Caucasian on the expeditions and was completely cut off from the outside world, depending on local natives to guide him, carry supplies, ferry boats, set up camps, prepare meals, and assist in the survey work. He traveled by riverboat, motorboat, canoe, prow, banana stalk raft, bamboo rafts, and walking. He spent 9 months in the Mahakam River Basin in south and central Borneo, alone with his Dayak porters exploring 25,000 square miles, an area the size of Holland and Belgium combined. He traveled 4,000 miles on 40 different rivers. His reconnaissance job was to survey and make maps of the area and identify promising areas for oil development based on topological features, geological structures, and data found in digging deep pits by hand using local native labor. He sketched the streams, tributaries, villages, and vegetation with a Brunton compass and survey rods. The area was heavy jungle vegetation with no roads. Virtually all travel was by boat. Inhabitants lived in villages right on the rivers. Much of the upper rivers and tributaries were completely uninhabited. In the 1930s, many villages still practiced headhunting. He told about eating meals and sleeping under a cluster of 7 human heads with dried skin and hair. Jim had developed strict rules to live by in the jungle that included never going into the jungle alone. He wrote of bamboo spear traps near one camp. Another rule, never go outside at night without a flashlight and always wear footgear. He considered the geologist to be the supreme dictator of the expedition, but was explicit in saying that his successful expeditions depended on fair treatment of the hired crew. Some of his expeditions were hampered by continuous abnormally heavy rains and high water conditions. Water levels went up nearly 24 feet in 12 hours. In one area, the water level was 60 to 75 feet lower in the dry season. Jim Bailey had said, "Fire ants, blood-sucking leeches, sandflies, mosquitoes, and 3-inch cockroaches can be annoying, but so can the human varieties of these insects that walk the streets of LA be annoying and murderous. I have never felt fear in the jungle." Jungle hardships were well managed by Jim Bailey, who had developed methods to avoid illness and problems in the jungle. He ate canned food and always boiled all drinking, cooking, and cleaning water. He did mention a tea party with a Dayak chief serving white grubworms with honey, but he never said if he partook in the feast. When he finally returned to civilization after 9 months, he was just in time to stop a government expedition about to depart to look for the lost geologist. They thought he was dead or had lost his head to the headhunters. Since there were no communications with the outside world, until he returned, no one was sure if he was still alive. His arduous expeditions are incredible compared to the way geologists do their work now with helicopters, satellite phones, GPS, and other modern technology. Jim Bailey's love of wilderness exploration was carried on by his son Edgar P. Bailey in his explorations of Alaska's wilderness areas and in his marine, bird, and mammal surveys of Alaska's islands for conservation.